Last time, we left off at a Type 1- civilization beginning to explore the microscopic realm to become a Type 2- under the micro-dimensional mastery scale. If you haven't seen the previous videos, check them out, the link is in the description below. Today, we're going to be exploring a Type 2- civilization and some of its key features. For a civilization to achieve a Type 2- status under the micro-dimensional mastery scale, it must learn to explore the microscopic landscape. In other words, a Type 2- civilization is one that is capable of manipulating objects at a very basic micro level. This means that a civilization such as this would be able to work over a scale of about 10 to the -7 meters. At this scale, it is possible to be able to manipulate genetic codes, which gives a Type 2- civilization a lot more control over its surroundings. For example, apart from having total control over the macro scale, the ability to control and alter its own genetic makeup makes a Type 2- civilization much more advanced than a Type 1- civilization. This is because such a civilization would be able to eliminate almost all illnesses and diseases from its home planet if it wanted to. Moreover, it would even be able to replace or transplant parts of itself as it desires. This means that a Type 2- civilization may have many cyborgs or cybernetic organisms living within it. In other words, mastery over genetic engineering and manipulation would make individuals living in this civilization superior to other life forms on their home world. Not only would a Type 2- be able to alter its own genetic makeup, but it would also have total control in altering the genetic makeup of any other life form it shares its home planet with. This would lead to many benefits such as faster growing vegetation and other life forms that are used as food sources. So the food industry in a Type 2- civilization would be much tastier and more nutritious with only the desirable traits that such a civilization requires. Another distinction of this civilization would be the development of species domestication, also known as forced breeding, that we humans are capable of today. This will allow it to sustain itself on its home world for very long periods of time. Apart from this, a Type 2- civilization would also be able to develop new biological life forms from scratch, or even be able to transplant or replace biological components from any species it chooses. This would allow for a lot more control over the ecology of its home planet, which would lead to many breakthroughs in medicine and technology. But the technological development of this civilization would not advance much with only genetic level control. At least not until it delves deeper into the micro realm and learns to start manipulating individual molecules and molecular bonds. This is when a Type 2- would begin to morph into a Type 3- civilization. But that is a topic for another time. If you enjoyed this video, do leave a like, share, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Until then, we'll see you in the next one.